My friends, I am here. I am outside enjoying the environment, the weather, looking forward for some rain to really fall so I could bathe in the rain. I, I want to bathe. I want to run and bathe in the rain and enjoy the rain, not to flood people's homes and cause landslide and that kind of thing, you know. But when I see the place looking like this, my friend, I just get happy. Yes. So I am here once again, my friends. What happened? I would have read today's Guardian out. I didn't do much reading in the Guardian today. And I also saw an article in the Express, you know, even though some of my friends, my UNC friends, is saying now the Express and the Guardian, both of them is PNM papers. But that is what we have left. Well, we have the Newsday also, you know. But what I like about this Guardian this morning, or today's Guardian, is our Minister of Homeland Security has given America, and he is thankful, and he's declaring that, you know, he's thankful for the Americans being in our territorial waters, even the Southern Caribbean, and as a result of they and their campaign in our region, the drug traffickers, the human traffickers, the guns and ammunition traffickers, they are on the run or they are scared, and somehow we are benefiting. And my friends, I appreciate that statement that he would have made, in that the manner in which he went about doing it. At no time he tried to involve Trinidad and Tobago and the people of Trinidad and Tobago in fighting fire with fire, in telling lies as to exactly what is happening, trying to give the world the impression as though we, TNT, fighting somebody, fighting the drug traffickers, which our Prime Minister would have tried to give the world, even at the United Nations, where she declared that we are fighting fire with fire, my friends. Well, I think the message has started to come true as to what the truth and what the facts are. And it has nothing to do with TNT and Trinidad and Tobago or any joint patrol or any joint activities with America, for us to tie ourselves to the activities that is taking place in the Southern Caribbean. So the minister, I must say, I am pleased the way how he, with the statement that he would have made, that is in the Guardian today, where he said that the action that is taking place at this present time, the drug traffickers, they seem to be scared, and as a result, apparently the guns and the drugs are not coming to our country anymore at this present time. And that in itself is a blessing. We don't know how long it will last. But what I could tell you is that the equipment that America is using to prevent that in such a short space of time, this present government, led by Kamala Persad-Bissessar in 2010, had all the equipment and firepower that was needed to do the exact thing that is taking place to keep us safe, to keep the drug traffickers and them fearful, and the human traffickers and the guns and ammunition traffickers fearful, because Trinidad and Tobago have real firepower to deal with them. And even if they have speedboat, we will catch them, because we have these fast boats and we have helicopters with rapid fire and missile launchers. This is what our Prime Minister in 2010, my friends, she canceled these equipment that was supposed to be used for the exact result that the Minister of Homeland Security is speaking about, my friends. That's 15 years later. You see how far she has set us back? 15 years later, and if America decide, listen, let us, you see this Venezuela thing, let me move from here, then what would happen? We have nothing in place, my friends, to stop them. So it's rapid fire again coming. So this is a temporary thing. As much as we are grateful for it, it has hurt and disturbed the mind and the heart to know that we had in our possession, my friends, the guns and the equipment and the ships that was specifically built, paid for and built by a man called Patrick Manning, my friend, the Prime Minister Patrick Manning. The vision he had, yeah, exactly what the Americans doing there. That is what kind of, my friends, and you know what she had said? You know what was a statement when our Prime Minister at that time, when she canceled those things? She said, our fight against the drugs and the human traffickers and you see, our fight is not on the sea, it's on land. My friend, I real crazy people talk, I real drunk people talk, you know. You want to know what kind of sense is that? So I am pleased, I'm telling you, I am pleased with what I am seeing here, where the Homeland Security, my friends, and I think all of us in Trinidad should be pleased. At least we get something right in the melee. Something, we getting it right somehow. The messaging is that this thing what happening here had nothing to do with us. How Venezuela continue to view us and Maduro and his government, that's our next story. Today in today's Express, my friends, there's an article where a man wrote, somebody, I don't know if it's male or female, wrote an article similar to what Dr. Rowley in his press conference was trying to share with us. And at the end of the article, one of the things that he asked, what does TNT want? Is it that we want regime change in Venezuela? That is the question that closed off the article. My friend, and if one is honest with themselves, our Prime Minister presently would have changed the regime long time while even in opposition in our parliament. She had declared a man called Juan Guaido as the president of Venezuela, that Maduro and his government was hearing that. They got that information when she was declaring that she and her government at the time, while in opposition, she and her members of parliament were making these claims that a man called Juan Guaido. So they know that Kamala Persad-Bissessar, what is happening with her now, what she have, the thing that she are doing and would have said, it didn't start now. There's no basis for it, except that we know in real trouble as a country. Yeah, and I would have shared my views on it. And my friends, every day for the last 2 weeks, the Venezuelan government, more so the president, is the one doing the speaking. And every time he speaks, he is tying Trinidad and Tobago to the actions of America. He's tying us, tying the land, tying our prime minister. Whatever action America take against him and his people, thinking that they're going to destroy and kill these people. No, my friends, those the population of Venezuela at this present time is about 30 million. There are about 7 million scattered all over the place because of the hardship and the sanctions and those who may have disagreed with some of the action that Maduro taken. And that is normal in where countries going through that kind of hardship. But that whole country, my friends, 96% are Christians. It is a Christian country. And I would have spoken out and called on the President of America because he was planning and is planning to go and fight, blow up people in Nigeria who appears or seem to be persecuting Christians. So he have in his heart, maybe he was ordained or sent, or I don't know if there's a book that he could interpret, or we could interpret and say, well, this is it here. Is he talking about somebody who coming to save Christians? But in his mind, he has been anointed or appointed to save Christians. So I was just reminding him that the population of Venezuela, my friends, 95, 96% of those people is Christians, full gospel, Pentecostal, Church of God, Church of Christ, Universal Church, you just name it. Seventh-day Adventists, Baptists, spiritual Baptists, Christians. So if his anointing or his appointment is to look out or look after the welfare and the well-being of Christians, to the point where he is now willing to go and search for those persons in Nigeria who he thinks is persecuting Christians, then it would be very difficult for one to understand how, after looking to secure the lives of Christians in Nigeria, a country where 96% of the population, my friends, are Christians. They have not threatened anybody. They have not attacked anybody. They have not done anybody any harm. In fact, what they would have done, even with the sanctions, they would have attempted to assist the neighboring countries, even CARICOM, when hardship did take us, our CARICOM brothers and sisters, and even attempting to assist us in whatever way they could. That is the crime that they have committed. The evil that they have committed is even with sanctions, they still looking to help and was looking to help and ease the stress and the burden that some of our CARICOM brothers and sisters at some time was going through, where they would offer them reasonable gas and energy at a reasonable price. So that is why I would make that claim that and remind the President of America, my friends, that Venezuela is a Christian country. But if they continue to view Trinidad and Tobago as, especially the leadership, as one who is meant to endanger them and the government and the people of Venezuela, to the point where they would have called for America to come and use it as a base, my friends, to drop bombs on them, then we have become fair game. Yeah, we have become and made ourselves the enemy of our closest neighbor, who at no time in recorded history we can find where they would have tried to harm us or bring harm to us. But rather, we would have joined with others to eradicate them. So they have a right, if at all it comes to that, to defend themselves against the enemy, and any wise war person or war general would now make an assessment as to where the enemy is at its weakest point. And one does not have to go to any military school or go to any school at all to make an assessment to know that the weak point is Trinidad and Tobago. Not too long ago, the former Prime Minister would have shared information with us that we weren't aware as the level of vulnerability that we really and truly are facing. Where he is saying to us that all that is needed is the threat, a real threat of war, and the energy platform that we have just about 60 miles outside of here would be shut down, and TNTech would not be able to supply any electricity throughout the country, my friends. So even if you have a generator, some of us may have generators, and you need diesel or you need some fuel also. How long, my friends? How long will the generator run for? So we will be without electricity to start with. And that is besides Venezuela, my friends, launching any attack on us, so that if it means that that is the only way they're going to get America to stop bombing them, my friends, but I could assure you, based on the newspaper report yesterday, that Nicolas Maduro, president of Venezuela, says that Trinidad and Tobago, my friends, our country, is one that he is looking at in a real crucial and seriously because of our actions. So, my friends, I just wanted to touch on that point as our Homeland Security Minister would have praised best, and better to send he to the United Nations with that speech, because the people of the United Nations, they know, they are aware that we can fight no war, and we going there and telling them that we fighting fire with fire, telling the world that as though they don't know what fire is, and as though they don't know what fighting fire with fire is, my friend. So it was a lie. Our Prime Minister went on a lie because of some sickness in her head to look important around the world and put us in real danger and real trouble. And now they are afraid. They are afraid to come to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and explain to us if what Dr. Rowley is saying is truth. The fact that the vulnerability of our country and the state, if at all a real threat appears, what's going to happen? Starting with tea and tech. Come and tell us. Let us now go and see what candle we could buy, because it is quite possible, my friends, it is quite possible that war could break out with that kind of weapons America have there. What other reason they would bring it? What other reason they would bring all these equipment in the Southern Caribbean? Is it to shoot these pirogue and them out of the ocean? That is what they want us to believe. That is what our Prime Minister wants us to believe, my friends. Atomic nuclear submarine. And what I've read not too long ago, they have revived some base that have been dormant for years in Puerto Rico. So they have putting things in place in case, because it's a thing with these kind of war. You don't know when it's easy to start, War is a thing easy to start. It's when time to stop it. He does not know when it will stop, what year it will stop, and what it will take to stop it. And what part of Trinidad and Tobago are we self-sufficient, my friend? Our food, every Grenada boat and the St. Vincent boat, these cargo boats, if they don't come on the wharf on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, my friends, if these boats doesn't come from CARICOM, the cassava and the dash and the yard, no, we don't get any market here, we have enough, but we don't have enough food to keep us alive, to feed us. Yeah. For any length of time, just food. And imagine this whole country, there's no electricity. No electricity, my friends. So all who have the nice house with the pump, the 2 tank, with the pump, the water will remain in the tank. With all the pump, you have to tote water, because how long the tanks go last? You have to bathe, you have to cook. You might have to give neighbor water too. And then now you have to find their bucket and go and find wherever water is, And that is what, and listen, it's not a part of Trinidad what will happen, And here what happening, you can't go too far because it has no gas station, it has no current. The gas station them shut down. So you can't use your big car and your fancy car. It become, my friends, it is of no use. Instead of money in the bank, if from the time that happened, my friends, the tellers can't come to work. So the bank shut down, the bank has no current. The Prime Minister must come and explain to the people, listen, we have things in place to prevent, you see what Dr. Rowley is saying there? We understand that, but we have put things in place to prevent that. Come and tell us. Tell us what he's saying there is not true. Tell us. And my friends, I just spoke about that, and it's something that I don't know when to stop speaking about it. Because that, my friends, when that happened, it's not either UNC or either PNM, you know, it's all are we hungry. Everybody hungry. Everybody can get water to bathe and to drink. And listen, you know, some of us, we grew up with fan and some of we with air condition. We can't sleep. I can't sleep without the air condition. I can't. It's mosquito, no fan, no electricity, no cold water in your fridge, and no gas to cook the food. So a lot of people don't know how to cook on wood. Get the wood and stone and cook, you know. On top of that, getting the wood and stone, why again you think to cook? My friend, we'll be watching on the television the hospitals in Gaza and these places and Ukraine and the kind of destruction. These are the kind of missiles. These are the kind of missiles, my friends. It appears as though Venezuela have, you know. The kind of missiles that leave Russia and went to Ukraine, my friends. It appears as though these are the kind of missiles and firepower that Venezuela have, you know. And we are their enemy, just like that. Yeah. How dunce we could be, my friends. So, my friends, there's another issue that I want to touch on. In this same Guardian. Listen, I don't know what kind of countries this, you know. My friends, well, I see the rain that come down, I don't think they just know and see pause again. But it's real nice weather. Let me tell you something. I am a football boot here, you know. I can't play no sort of football again. And you know they say, when you're going through. No, that's some men doesn't want to admit they're going through, you know. I sell my boots just to jog and to, you know, and to enjoy the weather and the rain. So my friends, the AGC chairman, after the AGC fire 140 workers, and the PSA president was warning the AGC workers, the PNM coming for them. Now that the same PNM that kept them in the job during a pandemic and a recession, you know. The same PNM who kept them, ensure that the family is fed and they take care of the family by making sure that they remain working, you know, my friends. Even though they was cussing the PNM, cussing Rowley, cussing that one, cussing them both, cussing everybody, he make sure the prime minister, wicked too bad, evil, that is the titles, you know. Don't care, heartless, arrogant. If you start to get that man title, eh? Yeah, that man make sure and kept, after receiving this country from the same Kamla Prasad predecessor and the most corrupt government, my friends, ever passed through this country, led by Kamla Prasad predecessor, you know, my friends. He received the country in a recession and kept all the workers in their job. Petrotrin, TSTT, because it was a drain on the economy at the time. In fact, if he did not do that, not just them alone would be home, but all sort of one sort of public, so everybody would be. And based on his wise decision, we was able to diversify and still have Petrotrin in an area where persons, if they wish to come and invest, they're free to do that. In the meantime, the companies was bringing in foreign exchange to maintain us during the period that was the pandemic and also the recession. And in 2024, the IMF, my friends, listen, the IMF came here and made an assessment of the kind of work that this man and his government would have done during those periods, 10 years. And you know what was their report? In June 2024, you can go and check the Guardian, my friends. They said, for the first time in 10 years, Trinidad and Tobago had been placed in a position of steady growth. Yeah, that is the projection, my friends. Steady growth. With everyone in their job, day by day, the CPEP workers, the ERP workers, the agency workers, the public servants, the contract workers, the reforestation workers, and all those persons who were part of these programs, the youth programs in the Ministry of Youth, my friend. There are plenty programs that person not speaking about, my friends. Plenty programs. Besides the CCC, the MyLA, the MyPart, and this thing for young people, there are many programs that involve young people and their development, my friends. The on the job training program, OGT, my friends, that also was maintained. This government came and cut the monies that was allocated, like plenty monies. So young people are now being prevented in the numbers in the OGT program. Yeah, don't go and practice and train. No. After school, they go for a job that say you have any experience, you don't have any, you can't get the job. The OJT would yes, I would have spent time doing the job in the Ministry of wherever, for a stipend and that for young people and the development, my friends. Even with a recession and a pandemic. Yeah, persons with the personal businesses and the workers, the government had to find monies to keep these people, even when you tell them to stay home. They would make applications. Some of them get kind of quick, some get slow. Our system is geared towards a higher frustrated, but you would get it. And they get it, and they get it slow but sure. Even after the pandemic over, person would be in the I now get the money that I applied for. Good. So that is the government, my friends. That was where the people was told was wicked and advantageous. Yeah. And they have money and they keep any money for themselves. That government that is present, who was making these false accusations and lies. You know, them coming and the exact thing they're accusing or was accusing the PNM government of doing, led by Dr. Rowley and a man called Imbert and Hines and Al-Rawi and these people. Yeah, Stuart Young, to name a few of the people, my friends. The same thing, the exact thing they accuse the government of when they were in opposition. They came in and they went to the parliament and voted for hundreds of millions of dollars to keep the exact people in their job, in their workplace until the financial year closed in October. As soon as the monies were voted for to pay them and to continue maintaining them in the work and wherever, they closed down all, call them collateral damage, call them, what do you want that thing they call them? Ghosts. Yeah. The only thing they didn't call them people as thieves. They call them gangsters, criminals. Yeah. And now, well, they're still calling them things, you know. My friends, in today's Guardian, there's an article here where the chairman, chairman of the agency, yeah, he called them ticks. No, not thick, like if they stick people, you know, like no. Thick. Not that kind. Thick. The parasite. He called the workers, my friends. Should I have the go? I go down bury the radio. He called the people. He says parasites. Yeah. Felicia Thomas. Yeah. This man called the workers that Felicia Thomas was on the campaign lying to them. He turned around and called the workers that has paid union dues to represent them, who was promising better days ahead, that big money coming. Call them ticks, my friend. No, a tick is a tick, you know. What kind of nasty people, my friend? How you could come, how you could reach to compare people with a family, people who have been working, my friends, our citizens in this country. The only comparison that you could find to describe these people, my friends, It's tick. What is that tick? A blood sucker, my friend. A blood sucker. Yeah. That is what he called. And listen, agency chairman says, Tick's comment, no disrespect to fired workers. Well, that real respect he's showing there. He said, no. Well, if that is not disrespect, my friend, the opposite of disrespect is respect, you know. So he is showing respect to the workers who he just dismissed, calling them parasites. He is calling the citizens of our country parasites. Parasites, my friends. People who came to work today because they supported the government, them and the union leader on the campaign trail, they put on the jersey, they walk in to show the support. These people right there. Yeah. So these parasites on them, you have to get rid of them. These are parasites. Parasites, my friends. Will ever hear anybody describe our people as workers in this country like that? Parasites. When under Arnold Roberts, my friends, under Arnold Roberts in the Ministry of Sports, where according to the report by Ruth Marchand, who was actually involved, where they came together and came up with a collective agreement to thief the monies that belong to the people of Trinidad and Tobago from the treasury, my friends. They are not parasites. They are not parasites. You see who you call them parasites? The same Arnold Roberts has now been, he was fired by the Prime Minister. He was fired by Kamala Persad-Bissessar. You know, she bring him back. And they calling the workers, my friends. These people they have not been accused of thieving nothing, you know. They have not been accused of stealing anything. No police looking for them. They never attempt to kill nobody. There's no contract on nobody here with them. These people, you know. Nobody, you know, hiding, you know, my friends. But these are the parasites, my friends. You know why they get rid of the CPF workers? They are also parasites. The CPF workers, they are not just collateral damage, parasites. You see the reforestation workers, my friends? Parasites. Parasites. You see the URP? Parasites, my friends. Yeah. That is how they view, my friends, and you know the majority of persons who have been fired in this program or who are operating in these programs, my friends, persons of African descent. Yeah. Yeah. Parasites, my friends. Listen, and that is why, listen to this, my friends. What you just want to do with parasites? When you get a tick on your dog, when you want to mash it, you want it dead. And that, my friends, is the reason why Kamala Persad-Bissessar cancel the OPVs, my friends. Because the rate, the parasites on them would have died or be killed or kill one another. If the OPVs was there, it would not have been suitable for she and her kind. And the parasites are staying too long to kill one another and too long to die. The parasites, my friends. That is what we are. That is how they view, my friends, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, our citizens, that does not look like them. Parasites. This man we see. Trinidad and Tobago, who is this man? Want to know him? I never see before. I read all kind of papers. I'm going to come across, you know, I pay attention, you know. My friends, when he made that statement, What was our Prime Minister respond? Did she condemn it? Did any one of them condemn it? None of them. None of them, my friends. Parasite. Leroy Baptiste. Leroy Baptiste is the Minister of Labour, my friends. Leroy Baptiste would have campaigned, telling us that lies. He and Felicia Thomas, my friends. Lies. Now they're calling the workers. The workers, my friends, even their members, and they are quiet. A man called their members parasites, and Leroy Baptiste is quiet. Quiet, my friends. Wait. It's that one they call elder thing. Yeah. No. Elder. I don't know where elder. Where are they? Where Ansel Roger? Where Michael Anisette? They're calling the workers in this country collateral damage. They call them parasites. They call them ghosts. I tell you, the only thing I hear them calling it is thieves. Yeah. And just a few days ago, a report came from the live sport after maybe 10 years or 11 years or 12 years. Yeah. Or more in the papers, a person who was actually involved, yeah, where they would come together and drop a collective agreement. It's a bunch of people putting their thoughts and their head together with a collective agreement. How we going about thieving the taxpayers' monies, my friend. A man take $1 million that doesn't belong to he and gonna marry a woman, my friends. Keep a big wedding. That isn't it. I didn't make up this. They're calling the people and them people with a family and hard working who have build the houses and them that they say that they build some kind of 20,000 houses. These are the people who, if it's 5 bill, them people that build them. Them is parasites. In our country, my friends. Jesus and ages. Telling the people the state of the economy is one where it have money, real money, and Dr. Rowley and the PNM keeping the money for themselves. Then how all these workers, my friends, gone home? How all of them were sent home? What about their families? Now, is this going beyond Christmas, you know? Because it's not as though we have some kind of growth taking place and development taking place that a person could change job and you know, I take but I could get at least a gas station work. It's no gas station work, you know. It's no work nowhere. The manufacturing industry contracting because let me tell you, if people don't have money to buy, then no matter what you're making, it's not selling. So the business community, the manufacturing community, my friends, but in fact, just a few days ago, you would have read in the papers, since I'm small, my friends, there was a time in this country when you could have go into Port of Spain in the night and walk around with all these other iron thing on the thing and window shop. And one of the stores, there's a store called Woolworth, Johnson, and later on, you see that store they call Standard, where you're going and watch at household appliances, you're walking. A household name in Trinidad and Tobago, my friends. They closed down. Yeah. One of our leading restaurants in Gulf City closed down. Yeah. And our Prime Minister saying that these places closing down because the drug trade is the drug traffickers and the drugs not reaching here. Our Prime Minister is saying that. Any stupidness and dotishness to get the headline to talk to appear in some Adochi smart coming in here and talking, my friend. I'm talking about that stupidness in this country. So that dunce. Look, a man calling our citizens. He just got work. Must he just the other they might say I give you appointment and say, look, you want to be the chairman, I don't know. Yeah. He called them people tick. A tick is a blood-sucking parasite, my friends. That is what a tick is. A parasite. Yeah. Trinidad and Tobago. It's in the newspapers here, you know. It's in the newspapers here. So my friends, as I said, I really come to go and take a jog, hoping that the rain, you know, fall out heavy. Mango not ripen, but I eating some PoinTTs and things these days. You know, they say that whatever fruit is in season, the advice is to eat as much as you can eat, because it's not by accident. PoinTTs ripen now. If mango is not by accident, whichever fruit, for whatever virus is wrong, there is the fruit for it. You know? So, but with the rain, Trinidad and Tobago are still looking forward, not for it to fall heavy to flood anything, to get a rain bad. But my friends, you see this thing in this newspaper here? Where this man is calling our workers parasite. And then now, this PSA president, they call Felicia Thomas, she is now trying to as though the CPO is the one to blame. 2 budgets have been read. 2 budgets, my friend. And when they read the one in June, they knew that the next budget would be read in October. So why then didn't the government, if they had any plan to pay public servants according to the promise that the Prime Minister said she will find the money, when they ask her where get the money, we will find the money. Yeah. Standard & Poor's came about 3 or 4 months after they came into office, my friends, and downgraded not just the country, downgraded both the Republic Bank and First Citizen Bank, my friends. There's this company in the one of our energies in the energy sector. I think the name of the company is Nutrien. They were shutting down part. Apparently, like they shut down completely now, and that was one of the companies that would bring a lot of foreign exchange, US and that kind of thing, that would add money to the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. Talking about that, not too long ago, the Minister of Finance under Stuart Young as Prime Minister, he made an observation on the website of the central bank and saw 600 million US missing from the reserve. Trinidad and Tobago, if 600 million missing from the reserve, that's the reserve. Who got that money? Who it was given to? Who is the group? Because Kamala Persad was accusing the government for years of a US cartel, where they were keeping the cartel for the friends only among a certain circle, and it was hardly reaching the man in the street and the ordinary people and ordinary businessmen getting problems, my friends. She placed a man in the central bank, Larry Hawaii, the former Minister of Finance in 2010, when she was the Prime Minister. She said, you go and find the cartel for me, because I had to expose them. He reported back after months of searching for the evidence to support the lying claims that she had been making, my friends, as the many other claims that she had been making without any evidence to support what she keeps saying. Yeah. And they say she's a senior counselor now. He reported back, yeah, that no such cartel exists where the US is concerned. It cannot be found. Yeah. A man in the government, I think his name is Sawat Singh, or I think so, he jumped up to defend, rather than tell the Prime Minister, you know, all that thing he was telling is a lie. You mean you were lying to the people of Trinidad and Tobago? all of that was lies. He then saying that, not because the man we appoint to investigate and find the money and the cartel, not because he can't find it, it means that no cartel existed. Not because we can't find it. The day the cartel there, them is the cartel. $600 million gone missing, my friends. And if that wasn't enough, 400 million from the Heritage and Stabilization Fund also gone missing. US. Who get that? Where gone? The cartel, my friends. It didn't reach the people. It didn't reach the banks. Because a man called Seo Young said that he called the banks to find out if they get a supplement, if they get anything. He said, I don't know what he's talking about. So where that money gone? What building, what investment that we could look around? What part of that money was spent on the people to try and keep them in the jobs? And my friends, that is the difference between the two governments to start with, my friends. That was in place. That one that cared and look out for the people, even when it had nothing. Make sure that they remain fed, sheltered, and in the jobs, my friend. What this one did, what it did, and they finished, they're still sending home people. Yeah, still sending home people, even after the budget had been read. Only lies, my friends, lies. Keep lying to us. They're keep declaring that the dragon deal is dead. The dragon deal is dead, my friends. While secretly writing and begging America for the license to go Venezuela, to get the same dragon deal, the PNM dragon deal that them was trying to call America to pass sanctions on the Venezuelans and on the government here, because in their mind, Maduro is a drug trafficker, he's a murderer, so we don't want them gas. No, because we will get gas and oil and our energy problem will be solved because we go in Guyana and we go in Grenada. That was a statement on the day when she received an instrument of appointment as the Prime Minister. The Grenadian people, the people in Guyana, they want to know what it is she's drinking in Port of Spain, my friend. What drunk talk is that they're hearing? A drunkard. A total drunkard, They want to know what it is they're hearing. Yeah. A drunk woman. Yeah. In fact, the Venezuelan said that she came crawling. A lady called, listen, my friends, the Venezuelan vice president, she said that our prime minister came crawling, crawling like a worm. These words are written in the Hansard in Venezuela, my friends. I can't read no Spanish, but it's right there. That our prime minister, we had a prime minister that they declare in another country as persona non grata, my friends. Our prime minister. Shameless. Damage our good name. She then went and lie on our CARICOM brothers and sisters, saying that they have joined Venezuela and supporting Venezuela against Trinidad and Tobago. And the done supporters who fall in here saying yes. So that nasty-minded people saying yes. All they keep reminding her that here, this zone must remain a zone of peace. Yeah. But you see, a zone of peace, if she sign on to that or she repeat it, it means that she will not be able to get America to bomb Venezuela and remove Maduro, who she said in our parliament, who she declared in our parliament she doesn't recognize as the president. If you don't recognize him and his government as the president, how then could you go and ask for an OFAC license to go and meet with him and beg him? How, people? How? You openly told the world that you don't recognize him because he's a narco trafficker, he's a terrorist, he and his government, they are murderers, they are human traffickers, they are the scum of the earth. Yeah. But you're secretly going and beg him. You're going crawling, my friend. You know that? You know the description they give you? She went begging after declaring that we don't need. Yeah. You know what they say? They say when she sober up, when she's sober, she gonna know how much. Right now, the world laughing at us, my friends. The world laughing at us. Imagine, because she said how she going and look for new friends. She gonna look for new friends. Wait, what new friends you gonna look for? Who want to be Trinidad and Tobago friend? Who want to be she friend? What is saying is that done someone who want to be she friend, Trinidad and Tobago friend. The first thing is, how you could let Venezuela, who have more oil and gas than we, next door, that you could walk across and get bucket and full up and go back home. How you reach up here in the Middle East? How? Tons. Who want to be she friend? Who? Tell me, my friends. At this present time, who want to be the friend of Kamla Persaud Bicester and Trinidad and Tobago? Who? Tell me. All you have to do is to let them know. You know, a few days ago in the papers, she's saying how she welcoming dialogue. She welcoming dialogue. But she now trying to give advice on how the dialogue. Nobody asks her for her opinion. She fast and out of place. And that is how we end up in trouble, my friends. She's now trying to make herself look important. I'm trying to give advice as to what should be the discussion. Dunce. And don't even know she plays. She does not even know she plays, my friends. She does not know her place. She's out of place. Our Prime Minister, my friends, is that does not know her place, and being out of place is what caused me to be in problem with Venezuela, my friends. Dunce. Like the rum affecting your brain. You see that's a rum that you drink? And like he's still drunk. Yeah. It's a drunk. Let me tell you something, my friends. Badio Pandey said that she drink and fall down on Gandhi's statue. Drunk. Yeah. And he said it's not me who saying it. It's Jack Warner said that. Yeah. So don't blame me. That's he. Yeah. The Venezuelan people all in Grenada, when they're writing about Trinidad and Tobago, they're calling she drunk and drunkard. In the Venezuelan parliament, in the people of Venezuela, they know she's a drunkard. In the world, yeah. Don't know what kind of dunce people in Trinidad, like they went to no school. How we are not voting she? How? You know why? We like corruption too, my friends. Yeah. We like corruption and bubble. We like decency and integrity. Don't like that. See corruption and what could what bubble I could do to get what happened for me to move this drum from this point A to point B is really about $5, but we go put it for 500. Bubble and corruption, and the government with the history of thieving the people monies in this country, my friends, is led by Kamla Persaud Bicester, and the people decide we will put back the thieves and them in government. That's what they are. They are thieves. Yeah. The Ministry of Housing, that should be renamed the Ministry of Fraudsters, my friends. The Ministry of, it had 3 ministers inside in one ministry. 3 ministers in one ministry. Yeah. Almost 9 months or whatever. And up to now, you have not seen where some subturning taking place for a project and the budget read and everything. So they can't say no money. Is there no money? Where the subturning to start it, but they fire the workers who have to build the foundation, the blocks, probably the electrical, the plumbers, they fire them. You can imagine that? What kind of country we live in, my friends? And calling them parasite. They call the workers parasite, my friends. In this country, my friends, there are people who love corruption and they love the thieves on them. There was a time when government ministers, including our prime minister, they would see them going up on the Hall of Justice steps because they have been charged for corruption in the airport, thieving our monies, bid rigging, men all in America making jail.
And when the election was called, the election ended up 18-18 and 17-17 with them same people and them. Those same people, while going to court, while had charges, the people of Trinidad and Tobago still wanted to put them back in government, my friends. Yeah. So what happened here? I'm not surprised about that. Yeah. Trinidad and Tobago. Well, no rain ain't really falling. But I going to run still on. I going to put on my boots, do all jogging, smile. I could play a little football, a little bit. I can't play so good and thing. A little bit of basketball. I could swim a little bit. And a little bit of table tennis. I like playing, you know. So, Trinidad and Tobago, I want to tell you thanks for allowing me this part of your day to spend 20 minutes or whatever, half an hour with you. I appreciate it. And I will be back with you again sometime shortly. Have a good evening and God bless you. Thank you. Until we meet.